Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. We are at a very weird place right now when it comes to the DCU. That would be James Gunn's DCU. We already got rid of Zack Snyder, but there's still rumors he might come back. I don't think that's even possible, but it could be that James Gunn has just moved out of the way, and he might need to be. He is incapable of getting projects put together in a way that they can be made, as he has a history of announcing things that just don't happen. Seeming very Kathleen Kennedy to me, but it's worse than that, and we're going to talk about it. So here we go. Now, before we get started, here's a real quick reminder. I'm trying to get to 50K. You guys have been helping greatly. We've been growing our numbers incredibly quickly recently, and it's all because of you. So if you're here now, it's not by accident, and you're here to click on the subscribe button if it's not already clicked. And while you're down there, hit the little bell icon and turn on all notifications, and finally the thumbs up button, because that's a fast form of engagement that gets creators a lot of credit, and we'll just go from there. Now, let's start with what's going on with the DCU. James Gunn started with a whole host of ideas and a lot of things to present to us, but we've gotten very little done. In fact, it does take a year or two or three to get a film out from the idea stage through production and into the cinemas. But we seem to be not seeing so much. In fact, we're seeing a lot of things that underperformed, like Superman, which even Ted Sarandos called out during his Judiciary Committee meeting. Now, the story here from Cosmic Book News is that Paradise Lost is said to be dead. That's another one of the early projects that was announced at the very beginning of James Gunn's DC. For James Gunn Presents James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn, which actually got made, and so did Drunk Supergirl, but we won't see that until this summer. Other than that, it was a pretty terrible cartoon and a mild redressing of Peacemaker, which I didn't like in the first place, but that's just me. Let's take a look at this and get deeper into the story. In what should again come as no surprise, James Gunn's DCU appears to have quietly killed off another one of its earliest announced projects. According to John Rocha, the planned Themescira series Paradise Lost is no longer happening. Recall how I recently said the same, and even said that I doubt that Gunn will be doing a DCU Wonder Woman due to the impending sale of Warner Brothers Discovery, which honestly makes a lot of sense. They kind of need to leave room for the next company to come in and have fresh ideas and takes, and ultimately decide that they're invested for the long haul in DC. Because nobody has been since the Zack Snyder days, and even then it was rather tepidly received. And Paradise Lost was completely shut down as a result of, well, just a story that the unit might be sold. Speaking on his show, Rocha said sources informed him that DC Studios has been meeting with writers and taking pitches for Paradise Lost, but those involved were later told the project was dead. Rocha emphasized this was not a case of the show being paused or waiting for the right script. It was just toast. Frankly, I am unsurprised. How about you? Give me an early heads up down below if you think this was already handwriting on the wall. Writers and creatives who have pitched storylines were reportedly informed that Paradise Lost is no longer in active development and will not move forward as a TV series, nor do I or anybody else suspect we'll actually see a Wonder Woman film anytime soon. In fact, here's the quote from the conversation. Sources are telling me that DC was meeting with writers for Paradise Lost and was taking pitches for Paradise Lost, but they've been informed that the project is dead. Paradise Lost is dead. It will not be happening as a TV show. And not dead in the sense of like, well, they're just going to wait for a script. They're being told, these writers and these people who've pitched storylines for Paradise Lost, that to be the showrunners or writers on Paradise Lost, they've been told that the project is now dead, no longer in active development, dead. And that is a massive bit of news, because I think a lot of people felt that it was a little weird. You were going to do a Themescira show, but not have Wonder Woman in it. Honestly, how is that odd? I would have expected nothing less from James Gunn, who's given us less with each and every iteration of whatever it is he's told us he was going to deliver. And again, having somebody like Tom King in your ear isn't going to help anybody with anything anyway. But That's a personal gripe, maybe not yours. Let's take a look at the rest of the story. That news is significant given that Paradise Lost was positioned as a cornerstone of the DCU's television slate and one of the earliest projects announced by James Gunn. Now, joining lots of other DCU projects, it's apparently not happening. And look, I mean, this isn't just a James Gunn problem. We just got over one of these terrible studio leaders in Kathleen Kennedy, and I have to tell you, Marvel's not looking much better, so you would think that the comic book down the street would try to do things in a bigger, better way. Yet, frankly, it doesn't seem to be. That's exactly what's happening. And with that news comes something else. Gunn's shift to Superman saga. The cancellation lines up with what many insiders have been reporting for some time. Sources previously indicated that Gunn has pivoted his long-term focus away from the overall DCU to the Superman family saga. The trades backed me up, according to Matt over at Cosmic Book News. Now, this shift makes a Wonder Woman-centric future in the DCU increasingly unlikely. Same with Batman. Bad news for us Batman fans, at least under Gunn's leadership. Wow, Chris Gore is going to be disappointed. Insiders also recently informed us that Warner Brothers Discovery is now sending the message to Gunn to keep quiet to avoid major announcements that later turn into quiet walkbacks. We've also been told Gunn is out as head of the DCU once the Warner Brothers Discovery is sold. But honestly, I don't think that's very surprising. He's going to show very little for the amount of time that he was there with his pal Peter Safran, and he wouldn't have been there without Peter Safran to begin with. It also seems that his dreams of running the IPs that he thought he could in popular culture have been dashed against the rocks of reality. And you know what? We might be better off for it. The people that he's collaborated with, the productions that he has created and put into the field, haven't been particularly good, and neither are the humans he's worked with. We were all anticipating a change for the better, and that just plain didn't happen. But hey, those are my thoughts. What are yours? That's right. I welcome all comments here, and please use them. Give me your thoughts in the comments section below. Is James CU's DC Paradise Lost TV show just another one of the signs of the impending doom for the DCU? Or for James Gunn's participation in it? Let me know your thoughts about the future of DC in the comments section below, as I said. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Just probably not watching a James Gunn movie.